It's the Friday, the 13th of March, 2026. So basically, as the picture depicts here, Trump has just completely underestimated, bumping the hornet's nest that is Iran. I think the general consensus now, and people are trying to be nice, is won't go for months, but it will go for weeks that definitely amount to months, is the general comment coming out of even the Republican Party. They don't want to say months because they don't want to cause any conflict within the party, and they know that Trump's pretty vengeful, but he's also enacted some law that hasn't been invoked since like the 1800s in terms of foreign. He's trying everything. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, basically, foreign ships can now ship oil and gas around the coasts of America, which doesn't really solve the problem because East Coast to West Coast, unless they're going to use the Panama Canal, it's not really any help. So, as you can see, market map broadly, well, except for your staples and your energy companies, it's broadly very weak, and it will continue to be so. Even the gold stocks are weak. It's as a wise man in our office once said this morning, in particular, people will tend to sell what they can, not what they want to sell necessarily, and they will, you'll probably get better prices in most things overall. Defence stocks are pretty weak at the moment as well. Probably worth having a look at. They're going to have to dust off the. Ironically, the Americans actually retired 5 of their minesweeping ships in the last year, and the UK government, when Navy has confirmed that confirmed suspicions that naval mines will be used. Apparently, it's like 2 dudes in a rowing boat, paddling out in the middle. And I suppose if it's only 33 kilometres. They are quite magnetic. I know way too much about minesweeping boats and how they've got wooden holes and things after going down the rabbit hole this morning. But it just shows the changing nature of warfare these days, as we saw in Iran. Not in Iran, in the Ukraine. Russia really is, having the biggest, dick is not necessarily being able to do total annihilation is not the winning or the trump card anymore. Excuse the pun. And these smaller, cheaper forms of warfare, like what happened in Vietnam, Afghanistan, all sorts, where they're becoming increasingly important. And biggest is not always best. So, as you can see now, we've got everything except for the China A50. The China A50 is now in strong sell territory for the hourly and the daily technicals, and we are nearly getting a sell in everything except for the Nikkei and the Euro stocks on the weekly even. We're neutral on the S&P and the Russell, but we are probably going to see some technical momentum start to add to this, add to the downside, and that's what it's all about. Oil jumping back up. Brent's near 100, WTI is near 91 or 93 or something. Look, I mean, it changes every 3 seconds, so I'm not going to quote you an exact price because it will have changed by the time anyone listens to this. Iron ore and coal continue to go higher as well, and we got we've got lithium and things still drifting off because they're more on the risk assets end. Basically, we'll do a bit more of an in-depth look at the conflict, timeframes, that new modern warfare, etc. That in Bulls versus Bears this afternoon, which is our podcast, you can get on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, and you can like and subscribe on those platforms. I believe it goes out to iHeartRadio and the other and listener apps and things as well. So you can find us by searching MPC Markets or Bulls versus Bears. Because I'm just not going to be able to do it justice this morning. If anything, if you've been listening to the podcast or the Morning Call podcast over the last few weeks, you were warned. you needed to be getting out of the things you didn't want to be holding and only be in your high conviction stuff. There's not much I can add from there. And obviously, scan the code here. You can get Mosaic. The content's free. And you can keep up to date via that, with all of it, all of the Mosaic content curated by 3, market veterans, not some kid in a basement with an AI just, churning out crap. So, this stuff's all very actionable and relevant to what's going on in the markets now, by some guys who have been traders and in markets for many years. So I'm going to leave it at that today, guys. Have a great weekend. Make sure you watch Bulls versus Bears, or listen to Bulls versus Bears this afternoon. It'll be pretty helpful in getting your portfolio straight. If you want a portfolio review, you can just send an email to portfolioreviews@mpcmarkets.com.au, and we can have a look at it for you if you're getting a little bit worried about things. But have a great day. Maybe don't look at your portfolio necessarily. If you're just going to freak out, have a good weekend, and we'll speak again Monday.